I'm trying to film this video quickly, so I haven't got time for an intro. Word to you, mother. My name's Steve. This channel is Fragrances. Thanks for tuning in. So today I want to talk about a sort of fragrance house or fragrance that's had a lot of hype lately. So I was just curious. I'm going to be talking about Hudsons, and in particular their fragrance 003. So if you've watched any of UK Fragcom in the last year or so, I'm sure you've heard of Hudsons fragrances. They originally were a barbershop, and then they produced a fragrance that they sold in their shop, and then another one, and then they expanded to go online, and now they've got 3 fragrances. And kind of through actual Fragcom and YouTube, they've sort of got some notoriety, and they've really grown, and they're very popular, and they're getting a lot of hype for being essentially niche fragrances at quite an affordable kind of level, because there's no frills. It's fairly simple and basic, but it's very simple basic done well to a good quality. So you may think that I'm going to sit here singing their praises now and kind of shilling for them like a lot of people have done. Well, let me just emphasize that I have had no communication, interaction, conversation with Hudsons whatsoever. I went on their website and ordered this fragrance just like a normal person without any influence whatsoever, because let's be honest, that's exactly what I am. Yes, I just went online. I did use a discount code, but I just ordered this, stuck it in my basket, purchased it, heard nothing from them at all. So I've got no reason to praise this or whatever, so I'm going to just be completely honest with this review. I must admit, one of the people that influenced me the most in this purchase was Tony at the channel Fragdicted. I'm friends with him. He's a really good guy. He's mostly positive about fragrance, actually. He does sort of look on the bright side of life, as it were. But this fragrance he absolutely loves. It was his favourite pickup of 2020, he claimed. And that was the kind of final straw. They've got 3 fragrances. This, by all accounts, is probably like the sort of safest, fresher, daily driver signature scent style one that you can kind of wear in an office, etc. So I thought I'll go with that first, because I know the others kind of contain oud and things like that. So I thought I'll go for the safe option, and yeah, Tony's review was the thing that pushed me over the edge, so I ordered it. So when this fragrance arrived, I was really excited to spray it, and my first impressions were good. I was not at all disappointed. It smelled, I'd say it smelled about 85-90% of how I imagined it to be. It was a little bit kind of sweeter than I imagined, but it's very fresh and clean at the top. There's, as I say, some sort of subtle sweetness to it, but I very much got the violet leaf at the top. I sort of noticed that straight away. It's quite heavy on violet leaf. I'm quite familiar with it because a few of my fragrances have violet leaf, and typically it's a note that I quite like. But also, when I first smelt this, my very first kind of in my head is things I compared it to. It reminded me of a combination of Womo from Xenia, which is a cheapie that I've raved about in the past. Again, very heavy in violet leaf, and a bit of Office for Men as well. I think there's violet leaf in this, but it's obviously kind of got that sort of clean, fresh, smooth ambroxany thing going on, and that's got an element of this. But it is definitely a little bit sweeter than those two, I would say, at the top. So yeah, I very much noticed the violet leaf, and it reminded me of those 2 fragrances, and I thought, well, that's not a bad thing. I like both of those fragrances. Can't go wrong. So I've worn this fragrance quite a lot now, 5, 6, 7 days easy. So I feel very confident talking about it and kind of what I get from it. What I have learned wearing it different days and different times and trying different things, like some days I went quite light, some days I went quite heavy, just to test it to see how the performance changed, etc. What I will say is it seems to vary slightly depending on how heavy I applied the fragrance. So if I went quite light, the fragrance kind of almost remained as those first impressions, where it's quite light, quite clean, quite prominent in violet leaf, but sort of quite fresh and with just a hint of sweetness. The days where I went a bit heavier, it made the fragrance, the sweetness come through, the sweetness and the spice kind of come through more strongly, and it sort of almost made it sweeter and quite, like, heavier. So yeah, in that regard, it almost adds to the versatility. Like if you want, you could wear it all year. In the summer, spring, you could just wear a couple of sprays and it's sort of quite light, and it's got a bit of depth that it might kind of perform okay, and be relatively fresh. And then autumn and spring, you could just go a bit heavier, and then the sweetness and the spice will come out a little bit more, and just gives it a little bit more kind of weight and kind of thickness to the fragrance. So yeah, I've sort of noticed that they definitely seem to added the number of sprays just changed the fragrance, how it performed and how it come across. Not dramatically so, but just the depth and weight of the fragrance. What I will say is those days where I did go heavier, I don't think I enjoyed it as much actually. When the sweetness and the spice come through more prominently, I didn't enjoy it as much, and I got more of the kind of leather. I think there's suede or leather in there. It's not heavy, but I sort of noticed that as well to give it a bit more backbone. That kind of come through. So those days where it went heavier, it actually reminded me of Burberry's Brit Rhythm, or Brit Rhythm Intense, which is a fragrance I used to own, where it's kind of got this jack of all trades, where it's kind of a bit floral, a bit fresh, a bit clean, but a bit sweet, a bit spicy. But yeah, the sweet, spicier elements of Hudson's 003 come out more and made it more comparable to Burberry's Brit Rhythm. I asked my wife her opinion on the fragrance, and she was kind of not too fussed. She thought it was alright. She wasn't really in awe of it, didn't excite her. She didn't hate it. She just thought it was right. Kind of said it smelled like a lot of my others, which in many ways it does. It is that sort of style of quite safe fragrance. Yeah, so she's sort of quite ambivalent towards it, to be honest. I like it. I think it's a very good, safe fragrance. I think if you're looking for, particularly if you like violet leaf, I think this is a very good fragrance to consider. If you want something that's quite versatile, that is like, it could be a signature scent all year round, but you don't want to smell of some of the obvious fragrances, then again, I think this is a good option. It's the age-old thing with me at the minute, where I've worn it a lot, and as I say, actually when I've worn it more heavily, I actually enjoy it less. So I don't think it's grown on me. I'd say if anything, I've grown off of it a little bit, but I do still think it's a good fragrance. Value for money wise, a lot of people say that this is like amazing niche fragrance for like the price of a designer. I think the price is fair. I think the list is about £45, and I think that is, I mean, considering that's actually for 100ml, actually, that is a good price. If that was 50ml, I think that's fine. So the fact that you're getting 100ml it makes it really good value. So yeah, I think the price is fair. I think it's good. So yeah, I do like this fragrance. I could recommend it if you want something that's a bit different to the norm as a signature scent. But again, I don't quite love it. Unfortunately, it hasn't. I thought wearing it would grow on me more, but it hasn't. I've actually grown off of it a little bit, but not to say it's bad, because I don't dislike it. I do still like it, but it's not. I've not warmed to it, and I think for me, the fact that it's still comparable to Office for Men and like Xenia Uomo, which is a fragrance I've loved. I've featured this as like my #1 summer fragrance in the past. It's going to be pushed to the back of the shelf, to be honest. Performance-wise, I've not said. Hudson 003, I felt like I got quite average performance. I didn't note it as being bad or good, really. I kind of got it sort of very noticeable in that first hour, and then the projection is sort of 1 to 2 hours, and then it lasts kind of about 5 hours. I felt like into the afternoon, I noticed it, I had to reapply. But so, yeah, not bad performance for kind of more of a fresher signature style scent, but could be a bit better. Does outperform Xenia Uomo. Xenia Uomo is pretty weak, but I think for a violet leaf based fragrance, I would choose this because it's cheaper. But I've got history with this fragrance now. I love this. I wore this quite a lot on holiday, a family holiday to Spain. So I've got some scent memories associated with this. And this is just a bit cleaner, and it's not got those sweeter elements that if you go too heavy get almost a bit sickly. So for me, I would go for Xenia Uomo over this. But that's not to say this is a bad fragrance, because it's not. It does offer good value for money. It is a good fragrance, but it's just going to get pushed to the back of the shelf behind Zinnia Uomo for me. So that's it. Those are my thoughts on Hudson's 003. Very solid fragrance, but do let me know what you thought to it below. Were you kind of underwhelmed after all of the hype, or were you really impressed? Great value for money. Kind of let me know. Comment below. I'd really like to hear your opinions. And I've noticed quite a lot in my videos actually, people comment and saying, yeah, I've got a sample coming, and I see people then respond to them and go, well, what did you think? They love to hear the community's kind of opinions as well. So do comment below. It helps kind of help other people make a more informed decision when considering a purchase. Thanks again for watching. I do really appreciate it as always. Like, comment, subscribe and all that shit, and I will see you for a video soon. Take care, much love.